Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm going to be testing Antigraviator on the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. For performance monitoring, this time I won't be using cam since I had some problems with the overlay showing up in this game, so in the meantime I'll be using MSI Afterburner. So Antigraviator, I'll be doing 1080p, 1440p and 4K. To skip none of those sections of the video, check the description below. So well, first of all, I'll show you 1080p on the G4560, and on this game in particular, the CPU didn't make much of a difference with the frame rate, at least on my end. So if you have a G4560, there's nothing to worry about on this game. It runs just fine. It's possible to maintain 60 frames per second if your GPU is good enough. Then I switched to the i3-8100 and I show you the same configuration on 1080p. I just lowered anti-aliasing from enabled to disabled in order to get a more consistent frame rate, and I lowered the shadow distance from 1000 to 800 just to have some room to spare, because the game can drop below 60 when there are many opponents on screen. But it's just at the start of the race. Then the opponents usually get very separated and less aggressive, so there are less effects on screen. But in general, the game tests over 50 frames per second, so it feels smooth enough. Then I switched to 1440p and I tried two configurations. First, trying to stay at 60 frames per second. Then I just crank it up to the max to see what frame rate we get. And finally at 4K, I just tried to be over 30 frames per second because 60 frames per second was pretty much impossible. And I have to say, I don't recommend 4K with this GPU on this game at all. I recommend sticking to 1080p or 1440p. The game is way smoother, easier to control. I recommend just toggling 50 to 60 with this game, very fast paced. And now I'm going to talk to you about the options menu and my experience testing this game. So you have some of the usual options I see on Unity games, plus some extra stuff. Some of the options are missing. They're on the camera menu, such as ambient occlusion, bloom, motion blur, all that kind of stuff. So by far what affected performance the most, at least on my end, was ambient occlusion, bloom and motion blur. Those here play a major role, especially motion blur and bloom. Most of the aesthetic of the game comes from there. The anti-aliasing here seems to be a post-process solution, but it has a noticeable FPS hit. Soft particles can also help when there are many opponents on screen and they're just making contact with each other, so this can help when effects show up, which is very useful, especially at higher resolutions. Then the options on shadows help a little bit, but it's not a huge difference, at least on this game, except if you're playing at 4K with, for example, a 1050 Ti. Their shadows, it can make a difference between 25 frames per second and 29, as an example. So the first options I will lower are ambient occlusion, anti-aliasing, soft particles, bloom, all that kind of stuff. I'll leave shadows as the last option to lower. You won't notice much of a difference with shadows anyway, because you're going so fast that you're not actually paying much attention to them, which is a good thing here. And also I have to apologize, I'm terrible at this game. It's so fast paced, I cannot keep up. My reflexes are not fast enough. It was released a couple days ago, the same day as Vampire, so I covered the other one first because it was requested much more. But yeah, this one looked very interesting. It reminded me of Wipeout and all that kind of stuff. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Available. 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 Spider trapped. Trap available. One, go! Available. Trap available. Player trapped. Available. Double trapped. Trap available. Triple trapped. Trap available. Trap available. NVidia trapped. Trap available. Available. Trap available. Two, one, go. Available. Trap available. Available. Trap available. Available. Trap available.